Give the call to member for O'Connor.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and I wanted to speak directly to my farmers today. I want to say, despite what happened in this place last night, be proud of what you do. Be proud of what you do because the country rides on your back. The farmers of this country, they feed us, they provided the prosperity, and now the inner city has turned on you. That is true, but you should be very, very proud of what you do. I also want to address the fact that this industry, which is so important to the farmers of Western Australia, is not finished. The phase-out date that has been voted on by the government in this place of the 1st of May 2028 allows 2 elections between now and that phase-out date. So I say to you, believe in your industry, believe that this government will change and the trade will continue after the 1st of May 2028. And I say that with some confidence when I look at the New Zealand situation. So when Jacinda Ardern was at her peak and much loved by everybody, mainly the media around the world, she banned the live export trade out of New Zealand. These are dairy heifers because of a vessel sunk in tornado conditions off Japan. Now, the effect of that was, interestingly enough, that those potty calves, those dairy heifers, were knocked on the head at 3 days of age because there was no market for them. Now, the Conservative government in New Zealand, which was elected on the same day as the referendum here in Australia, committed to reintroduce the trade. And as of this week, their parliament is debating and passing that legislation to reintroduce the trade. So I say to my farmers, this trade will continue. This government will be gone either at the next election or the following one, and our leader, Peter Dutton, and the leader of the Nationals, David Littleproud, have committed to reintroduce the trade. Now, that's to my farmers. I understand your confidence has been knocked around. The price has collapsed since the phase-out panel started to do its rounds last March, April in Western Australia. But I say to you, we will turn that around and this trade will continue and thrive. And it will thrive because our international customers value and demand our product. Now, I had the pleasure of visiting the Middle East in May, just a couple of weeks ago. And while I was there, by the way, I hand-delivered a letter to the Kuwaiti government from the President of the WA Farmers Federation, John Hassel, and the Chairman of the Pastoralists and Graziers, Tony Seabrook, saying directly to the Kuwait government, we reject the Australian government's policy. We want to continue to provide you with the best quality sheep in the world. And the Kuwaitis accepted that letter very, very gratefully because they have enormous investment in this country, not just in the live sheep trade, although they do own feedlots, they do own facilities here and they do own the boats. But they also have up to $50 billion of investment across a whole range of industries in this country. And let me tell you, they're not that happy that the Australian government is effectively kicking sand in their face. The Australian government is saying to our Kuwaiti partners, who I might say we've been dealing with for 50 years now, that we don't want your trade, we don't want your investment, and we don't want to sell you our product. Now, the Kuwaitis, they love Australian sheep. I went to a butcher shop in Kuwait, bumped into a random man who was there doing the family shopping, explained that we were from Australia. He said, I love Australian sheep. I can't get any today. The only sheep he could get were South African sheep. And guess what? South Africa had just had an outbreak of foot and mouth disease. So, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to get sheep from South Africa either. But they are going to get sheep because that's what they want. That's what they demand. They want fresh sheep. And they will get them from North Africa. They'll get them from the Black Sea, where there is no regulation. There is no ISCAS system. There is nothing to protect those animals. And when Australia steps out of that market, those standards that have been set in those countries, our destination countries, will disappear. Now, once again, on a trade perspective, we have the opportunity, we have Saudi Arabia who are taking our sheep for the first time in 13 years. First time in 13 years we're getting sheep back into Saudi Arabia. They import 8 million sheep a year, far more than we can ever provide. But I'll tell you what, they've accepted ASCAS. They've accepted our system of animal welfare, and so the 150,000 sheep that we might send them next year, because we haven't got enough to send them anymore, the other 7.85 million sheep are going to get treated a lot better. And member for Fremantle, you should remember that when you make your remarks.